A huge shout out to the overthinkers.
An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out my friend too.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Welcome everybody to the show. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are good. My name is George Mokwena. I am the host. And this is the Overthinking Football Show, a show that airs every Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. during AFCON. And then 12:30 on Fridays when my breadwinners get to jump in and they get to dictate what the show is going to be and what we're going to talk about. Incredible show on Fridays. So if you're watching me on TikTok, thank you for being here. For those who are on YouTube and those who are also on Facebook, who are back on Facebook, just know that to add your voice into the show, you have to be following me on TikTok. Join me while I'm live on TikTok, and then I can let you in, and you can join one of my panels where we will speak about the wonderful world of South African and African football, and have some interesting chats about what happened. Now, obviously, everybody was talking about yesterday. Hey, besithathazela Manuel. Besithathazela going into the game versus Tunisia, where we thought that we were going to be up against the wall, and Tunisia being a country that is ranked number 28th in the world, and third in Africa, if not mistaken, they were going to come in and they were going to wipe the floor with Bafana Bafana, and it was going to be a tense battle because Namibia was going to beat Mali. Yeah, man, we were ready. Besisiphethe lezinto, man. PTSD, trauma gave us this thing. But it turned out to be a very good game. It turned out to be a game where, even though there were a lot of tactical mistakes and a lot of things that maybe we didn't like from how they played, they, at the end of the day, finished the job. I did a show here a couple of months back where we spoke about the AFCON, and a lot of people came onto the show and said Bafana Bafana wouldn't even make it out of the group stages. But here we are, they've made it out. Here we are, we're going into the last 16, and we're going to be playing on Tuesday versus Africa's number one team, Morocco, semi-finalists of the 2022 World Cup. But luckily for us, it's not the first time we faced them, and it wouldn't be the first time that we would have beaten them as we've done the last time we played them. So I'm looking forward to a good match there. But before we get into that, we're back again. Shout out to Lawrence Koller for providing us with some video. Let's hear what Old Man Broos had to say in his press conference. We're going to listen to a little bit of it. If you want to watch the full press conference, Lawrence Koller on YouTube. That's where these things are. Shout out to him for getting us these press conferences and going over to Ivory Coast to shoot this for us. So let's hear what Old Man Broos had to say.
Hugo Broos, coach, congratulations for winning and qualifying as well. Tell us, how does it mean for you?
Here is a very happy coach sitting behind that microphone. And not only because we are qualified for the next round, but about the performance. A coach can be satisfied when he sees his boys working and fighting on the pitch and doing what you asked. And a coach is very happy when he sees a bunch of guys on the bench who are doing as big efforts as those on the field to support their teammates. And I saw all this today. I saw a family, I saw a team who wanted just one thing, and that's going around more. We did a good analysis of Tunisia. So we played a little bit lower. We tried to play very compact because we took also in account that we had 1 day less recovery than our opponent. So we had to look a little bit when and how we did the efforts, and that's why we chose that tactic, and I think it was the right one. We were good in block, Tunisia was nearly not dangerous all the game. We had some little chances. But okay, I think after all, after 90 minutes, that South Africa deserves to be in the next round.
You take questions. Firstly.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Qualification for Coach, how much of a blow was the injury to Khuliso Motau? And is it?
Yeah, I don't know. We have to wait till tomorrow. The fact that Khuliso was to go out is not a good sign. It's his ankle, so we will see tomorrow and make a good analysis of his injury, and then maybe we can decide if he should be ready or not for the next game. Let's hope he was ready.
Okay. I'm going to stop it there. We're not going to play the whole thing, man. Lawrence, uslethela ama video. So guys, please go over to YouTube, to Lawrence Collar's YouTube page, and you'll find him there, and also an interview with Tembazwane, which was premiering as I was starting the show. So please show him some love on that side. Okay, I started off wrong. I needed to first go. I'm going to be honest. I am not the biggest fan of Hugo Broos. I am not the biggest fan of Bafana Bafana as a team and what we've gone through throughout the years with that team, right? But at some point, we have to get behind them. At some point, we have to sit back and say, they did the job. We asked them to qualify for AFCON. They qualified for AFCON. They came very close to the World Cup, but they qualified for AFCON. We asked them to get a little bit better results. So we came out and they're unbeaten at home, if I'm not mistaken, in Hugo Broos's run. They barely lose these days, unless it's like one of those weird things. We question his choices on his team. We question all of these things. But at some point, even us, the harshest critics, have to come around and say they did what needed to be done. What's refreshing about what we're hearing from Hugo Broos, especially after yesterday's match, is that he said this was part of the plan. This is how they analyzed Tunisia. This is how they wanted to play this game. That boring game that we watched where they managed the game was part of the plan. They didn't want to overexert themselves. They didn't want to do too much, especially coming from the previous game where their plan was to go hard at Namibia, and it worked out. I, for one, have to sit here and give Hugo Broos some credit. Because he managed to do it. Now, going forward, what happens, we'll see. We'll still be here to criticize and question and look at some of the tactical and player choice things. But when they've done something good, I think that's my main thing today. When they've done something good, we must give them the credit. What I'll also say is that I feel like what AFCON has taught me this year, this tournament, is that we're all living off of past experiences of teams. I looked at Tunisia and I went, yes, it's North African. They are third in Africa, 28th in the world. What are they going to do? Ghana is such a strong team, and it does this and it does that. You guys, like, I was going into this thinking that all of my historically big countries that I saw in my mind were still those guys. And it turns out they're not. The big mistake that I think we made as South Africans going into this, for me, was that we also looked at Bafana Bafana as the Bafana Bafana from 4 years ago, as the Bafana Bafana from 5, 6, 7, 8, however long we've been suffering with the Bafana Bafana, even though, to their credit, they knocked out Egypt the last time round. 2019. But we look at it from that lens where we don't feel as though Bafana Bafana is up to par. And I get it. I understand. Guys, we've gone through a lot with this team. We've gone through a lot. But when they're doing well, let's find it also within ourselves to congratulate them, to get behind them, to back them. Especially when they're doing what we've been asking for years. They're performing. I also then want to get into the game. There were a lot of things that I didn't understand in yesterday's game. I didn't understand why Percy was running from the left-hand side of the pitch all the way to the right-hand side, leaving Umudiba a little bit vulnerable. There were a lot of crosses that came in from the left-hand side of our defense. And because Percy made that move to the right-hand side, it made Ustole have to work extra hard this game because he had to go and cover. He had to play cover. There was a hole. Percy was playing on the left-hand side. When he vacates that space, somebody has to come in and look after Umudiba or help Umudiba when they're overloading. If you look at what Tunisia was trying to do, they did look to overload that side and put in a bunch of crosses in there. Not necessarily the most dangerous crosses, and I'm not saying that Umudiba did a bad job. But if we find a team that's going to play with a little bit higher tempo, a little bit more need and want, which I'll get into on the Tunisian side, we might be hurt in that regard, especially because we're also vacating the midfield space by having Ustole. Ayele Esaitini. Then Umkwena's left alone in the middle. We also saw Umudawu go down and Umobi had to come on. He wasn't necessarily the best in the beginning when he started, but he did raise his hand. The other problem that Percy going to the other side of the field created was that Umurena didn't know where to play. Morena didn't know whether to carry on attacking as he normally attacks or whether to sit back or cut in or play striker. Also moving because Umahopa then had to, for some reason, go to the left-hand side and be our winger at certain times during the match. And Umudiba, when he did push up, he didn't have support. So there are some things I didn't understand. The biggest thing I didn't understand is not from Bafana Bafana. The biggest thing I didn't understand was Tunisia. Guys, this is a country that finished third in 2021 in their group. This is a country that was sitting and is sitting on 2 points. They were sitting on 1 point at the time that the match started, and they needed a win. But you didn't see anything from them. You didn't see a fighting spirit. You didn't see what they were trying to do, how hard they wanted to win this game. And also, their star player, someone maybe Bruce had been looking forward to, Umalu, those who may know him, he plays for Al Ali, didn't make it onto the pitch. So it seems as though there was a little bit of turmoil in that team, their own politics or whatever's happening there. But at the end of the day, you play who's in front of you. And Bafana played that team, got the point we needed, and we're through to the last 16. I, for one, am going to turn over a new leaf. I know that I've been fair, but I'm going to try be a little bit unfair positively to Bafana Bafana and say that I think that they are going to get past this. My prediction was that we're going to get knocked out in the last 16. But seeing and knowing what we've done versus Morocco before, and maybe knowing that we might have a little bit more information on Morocco, I'm going to be a little bit more positive and say that maybe we can see our way through that Morocco team, especially now, yes, and that's the point I want to close with before I open the lines, especially now that Hugo Broos and Bafana Bafana have showed us that they can be tactically versatile. First match, Hugo Broos basically told us that I played your football. I played your football. Second match, we played an attacking, aggressive, direct football that overwhelmed in Namibia. And again, I'm giving them credit to say that we needed to overwhelm Namibia, and we did. So we won and scored the 4 goals that gave us a cushion going into the final match. And then against Tunisia, we game managed. We game managed that game. We didn't go too hard. It wasn't the best of attacking games, but we did manage to hold them, even though they weren't impressive, to be honest with you. And we did what we needed to do. So we showed a grittier, grimier side to Bafana Bafana, where you can go out and claw your way to a win. You know, you can go out and win ugly. One of the things that I speak about a lot on this channel is that, you know, as South Africans, we don't appreciate winning ugly. And that's what Bafana Bafana did. I know a lot of people were talking about the combination and things, but let's be honest, it wasn't the best of attacking games, and it didn't have that much of a threat towards Tunisia. But benefit of the doubt, Bruce did come out later and say, guys, it was part of the plan. We did our due diligence. And that's what needed to happen. So I'm gonna open it up so that we can go ahead and speak about what we saw in yesterday's game, while I also read some comments here. So let me see. Agent 007 says, "Who evidence?" Andile says, "This intro is goated." Thank you, Andile. KB says, South Africa doesn't deserve Ribaldo Kutsia. We don't appreciate the greatness. Basebenzile Bafana says, Data 17. If you look at how Percy was playing, yeah, I can agree with him. Jackson says, Bafana Bafana is doing better than Egypt and Ghana. That is just straight fact. Egypt got 3 draws and somehow made it out second best. So we'll see. Rowan says, we didn't look like a team that can win a trophy yesterday. Leander, welcome, man. Ngbongi support. You're always here, man. You're always here. Thank you. Even Magdali Polukona, man. Shakes, can we beat Morocco? I believe so. Kwena says Tunisia was scared of us. Rowan says we need strikers. Ronza says we can win against Morocco, but not with Mobi. Litonolo says Mbala was marvelous. Without even having a bandage on his head. So I'm going to open up, guys. Please remember, in order to join one of the panels and add your voice to the show, you have to be following me on TikTok. Join me now while I'm live. And I'm speaking to the YouTube guys. I'm speaking to the Facebook guys. Join me now live. At the bottom of your TikTok screen, there is a button that says multi-guest. Click on the multi-guest button to request. I will get a list of everybody who's in this side. I'll let you guys in and let's have a conversation about what we saw from this Bafana Bafana team in that game. Let's see. Let's see who's here. And then let me just quickly also check on YouTube what's happening that side. Okay. Kumo, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Thank you. I'm awesome. And yourself?
Nake mnate, man. What can we say, man? What can we say? Tell me, Kumo, what are your general thoughts about yesterday's game?
Sure. Now I saw a game plan. Even when we started, like the formation was 4-5-1, which in itself, your one sorry, how Bruce intended to actually attack this Tunisian side. Remember, Hore, yesterday we had like 90% qualified to the next round, right? And the honors was on Tunisia to come at us. The honors was on Tunisia to actually go for the attack and get us under pressure, which in fact they failed to do, you know? Had South Africa didn't stick to the game plan, and had South Africa attacked like as my fellow colleagues here on the show wanted for Bafana to do, my guy, you know, I wanna last game, like you don't wanna attack and leave gaps behind unnecessarily, especially when you have nothing to lose. I wonder if they had played the way they beat Namibia in. If we were in Tunisia's shoes, it would make more sense. But yesterday we had control. And honestly, man, I was disappointed with Tunisia. I was expecting, you know, like this to be like a category A, you know, like a Sundowns versus Joining Galaxy type of football, you know. But we didn't get that. I don't know what's going on with Tunisia, but yeah, man, but luckily, negatives that I saw from yesterday is that I don't know how injured he is, but to lose a player like Seila, man, especially, you know, Sundowns fans, man, that's our guy, and so early in the tournament. And there's this new terminology, where I get tournament football. Tournament football and maturity is like, guys, this is not FIFA 24 or EA Sports where you have to expect to get 50 goals per game. Sometimes we need to adjust, control, analyze, and think of possibilities on how we can attack a particular game. Because from our first 3 games, we saw already the first one, we were nervous, we were great on the ball, we tried building up from the back, and we lost. Fine. The second game, we attacked, and boy, did we attack, and we had a clean sheet. The next one was like, oh, guys, relax. We played like big teams, man, for once. Yeah? We played like big teams as a nation where people had to prove themselves to us. We didn't even show them respect. We tolerated them. Imagine if we didn't play move second gear and we had to Temba had to dance and go to fifth gear. Bruh, this team, wow, we could have shown them more. But nonetheless, the mandate was to not concede. The mandate was to draw, or maybe because of Pesita was doing some things. I don't know what happened with Pesita. I'm not gonna bash him because he is one of our important players. Yeah, let's just say yesterday was not his best day at all. But yeah, I mean, we could have gotten a sucker punch, then it would have been icing on the top. But the mandate was clear. We Betile, so nothing to complain about, eh?
Okay. I see you are taking shots with the silencer now. Come on. Good, but it's fine. Those who didn't get it, it's okay. Tebza, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
No, I'm good, my brother. I'm good.
Tebza, tell me, what did you think of yesterday's result?
It was expected, to be honest. The most likely result would be a draw because we would be like conservative. Ergasi here attacker as much because it's not like we have so much to lose, or if we defend. You understand? We don't have that much to lose if we defend and get our draw. The objective here was to get to the next round, and we did. I was happy, but then if we get chances, guys, let's use them. You understand? If we get chances, regardless of the draw or what, if we get chances, let's use them. He hasn't been the best in the tournament yet. You understand? He got 2 or 3 1v1s. He didn't do nothing. Instead, he wanted to pass. Man, you are a winger. You know, I remember one of my coaches back then. He would shout at you if you get a 1v1 with a defender, only winger, and you want options to pass. You shouted, my guy. You didn't do that. You take on the player. You understand? Rather than we saw you lose the ball, fine. But then you did do something so as that you are a winger. You understand? What are you doing? Go practicing. You train. While you practice are those things that 1v1. You take on a play. Show us in the field. You understand? But then, other than that, I was happy with how we controlled the game. We managed it so well, even though there were moments where they were getting us on the flanks, where our fullbacks didn't have enough cover. We have to look at them. And then I wasn't also happy about the substitution. Yamudau, yes, he was injured, but then not Mobi. Why didn't he take Morena at right back and then put on Maseko? It's that simple. It didn't need any rocket science. You take Morena, go right back. He's okay. You know he's comfortable on the ball. He has pace. He's good at right back. Almost as good as Mudau. So yeah.
Okay, Tebza. Let me go to Agent, how are you doing, my brother? Welcome.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Aye, man. We've qualified, man. Me, I'm happy. We're in the last 16. Tell me, what are your thoughts about yesterday's game?
Welcome to the Believers channel, eh? Or the Believers team, eh?
That's unfair. Don't do that.
But I think, let me start with a few things, generally, before I go to the game, I think football has changed. I think that's one thing that we need to accept as a nation and as people, The goal, when two teams are playing, right? Entertainment is a byproduct. The result is the primary thing, it's not the other way around. You don't entertain and get the results later. You get the results and then entertain. You know, it's not like the olden days we used to play for fun. Now it's a business. You know, so I think it's something that we're still as a nation lagging behind in understanding. You know, hence sometimes when it's going for a result, it seems like no man, you're supposed to entertain us. You know, but you should be entertained after you get the result. You know, I don't know if you get me.
Yeah.
And generally, almost all the games that are tactical, they become boring because teams cancel each other out, you know. Hence, to the naked eye, it becomes boring. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of moves that are going in that if you're not paying attention to, then the game becomes boring because everyone is seeing what this one is doing and then is countering that, you know. So it was such game where it was tactical and I expected it to be boring once I saw that how tactical it was, you know. And then going to the game a bit is, you know, usually teams which play high intensity games, which play high octane ball, like counter pressing, entertaining play teams, your Brighton, your Aston Villas, your whatever, your Cape Verde, your Mozambique, your Angolas, usually the common denominator is it becomes a basketball game, you know, because it's end to end. So when it's an end-to-end football, it becomes a high-scoring game, you know. So when you're going into a game where you need at the minimum a draw, you know, you don't play an entertaining game. You don't play back and forth football. What you need to do is, because most times goals, obviously there are goals which happen out of the blue, but most of the times goals happen as a result of repetitive and prolonged pressure. So what you need to do, and sometimes it's very good at this, is once they score, they kill the game. They kill the momentum of the game. You know, game is played at 0. You know, why? Because you are breaking the momentum of the other team. You are breaking the rhythm of the other team. You know, so that they don't get a chance to create chances, because chances needs rhythm, needs momentum, and this is something that the North Africans are very good at. Once they score, the game is done. We're never gonna play game. You know, so I think it's something that you would call the dark arts. We should master the dark arts also, you know. So hence for me, I was not concerned when I saw the game, though it was spinning out. I think it was, like Bruce said, it was intentional that we play like that, you know. And for me, it showed a bit of, I know he's old, but it showed a bit of maturity from Bruce, that in 3 different games we played 3 different ways, you know. And in those games it was to get results. You know, if you look at Tunisia versus Mali, Tunisia was very scared against Mali, the same Mali that made us kids. You know why? Because it was end-to-end stuff, you know. So we had to avoid that. And then a bit into the game now, like I said, it shows that Bruce, I think Bruce is like, what is that guy's name? The Stellenbosch coach. Barker. That coaches who can plan for the team, you know, but in game they're questionable, you know. So I think Bruce noticed that, okay, these guys are gonna be probably bombarding us with crosses, with Screeny and Mailul and whoever. So what we need to do is let's exploit that space that they're gonna leave with the fullbacks. So hence the plan was Otau, you're gonna cut across and go to that side, and Umodau and Moran are gonna double up on the fullback and the winger, you know, such that whenever time we have, we pin the ball to Otau, then he can cut crosses, you know, and become dangerous. But then it became tricky now that Mailul is not playing, and the guy who is playing is not overlapping, you know. So it now becomes a case of as players, this is what we planned for, but it's not gonna work because the person that we're planning for is not playing. Or even if we are planning for a team that is a team that attacks with fullbacks, when you see that the fullbacks are not overlapping, you also in game have to change the way you're approaching. I think that's where I fault the players a bit, because in the second half, Bruce realized that, and he was able to correct that. Hence, we didn't see that overload again in the second half, you know. So because that overload was costing us a bit because Usitole had to cover Umudiba and Umvala had to cover Umudiba. So in the midfield you're short, in the defense you're short, you know? So what happened in the game in the second half was Usitole was not covering Umudiba. Umvala was covering Umudiba and Usitole was covering Umvala. You know, so it became a bit manageable for me, and I liked it because it shows that Bruce is able to respond given time. You know, so I think it was a technical game. Hence, I was surprised, like Abutitebo was saying there, that the natural selection was take Modal out, drop Morana, put on Omaseko. You know, and with the Tunisian coach also, like we are saying, probably it's politics. The natural thing was in the 75th minute, you put in Maulul and you bombard our goal with crosses, you know. But we didn't see any of that until the last second.
Both wings were weak.
Yeah.
Well, both wings could have been hurt. They could have hurt us on both sides.
Exactly. Even when they put in Jazir, where you expect the Jazir or the captain,
the number 10,
the other one. Yeah, you know, I expected a bit more of crosses from him, but still nothing, you know. So I think tactically both coaches, they overthought the plan, and the overthought plan didn't work, you know. And lastly, I wanted to ask, because Tunisia is dominated by players who are playing in North Africa, like North African clubs, is it a case that it was familiar environment for the players that on the field, so the players were familiar with each other, you know, the same as Namibia, you're familiar with them, you know.
Why are you saying it nice? Say it in your chest, man. No one's scared. What were you saying? We know these guys from camp.
No, I'm just saying familiar.
Man.
But yeah, I'm just putting out that maybe familiarity is like, we know this team can another color or same color, they can put 5 behind you, so there's that element of fear factor. And I think the fact that we beat Namibia 4-0 put that fear factor also on Tunisia, that we don't go like that to them.
It's a question I'm going to ask. I'm going to come back because there's a specific question I want to ask there. Tux, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you? Tux, are you with me? Okay, we'll come back. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Show my brother Gunjan.
No, right, Wonga. Let me do this, Tux. I'm going to come back to you after Wangalet. Wangalet, how are you, my brother?
My brother, I'm doing well, man. Yeah, I'm doing well. Can't complain, yeah.
Man, well. We've qualified for the last 16. I need more energy, man. But it's fine.
It's there, Marco. It's there.
What did you see from yesterday's game?
Yeah, hey, from yesterday's game, the comment from me, it's not merely yesterday's game, but also the game prior and the game, the first game. I wasn't here, unfortunately, to comment on them, but yes, I have this opportunity right now, and thank you so much. Look, there's a post here on TikTok showing Bafana Bafana singing, going to the next game or going to the second game. I would just like go through my comment there. You know, it is so unfortunate that we get at this point right now where we find ourselves with Bafana Bafana this way that they are, and the selection, how it's done, everything in the South African football, how it is, you know, it's so unfortunate because now you can't. Awukwazi ukubona ukuthi vele ukuthi hey Bafana Bafana is going to do this, and it's obvious they are going to do that, you know. They got 4-0, a convincing game that they won against Namibia. Going to Tunisia, you know, in the first game, to a friend of mine, there were a lot of people who were bashing Bafana Bafana, a lot. Nobody saw Buti Bafana Bafana is going to even make it. And there were a lot of questions if Bafana Bafana can even beat Namibia. You know, but for me, the confirmation came when they played that first half. You see, that first half for me was a confirmation that Bafana Bafana has a team that can compete. But they are very, very weak. Emotionally, they are so weak. They make me doubt even if they are going to go as far with the ability that they have. You know what I'm talking about. Because this thing we see it in a team that is dominating with PSL. That team, we all know what he can just do up to so far. Even in competitions, let alone in competitions in South Africa. Competitions are continental. Just to put a pun, the only team that even went to the final, the last team to even go to the final, to be careful, it's Kaizer Chiefs, which is overlooked, you know. And I also said to you the other day, I think we were commenting on the selection of the squad for these competitions, that it is so unfortunate, Nyanke, that this time Bafana and the PSL is just like this, the way it is. You can't pinpoint where's the strength and where you can boost the team to play well. It's so unfortunate that you can only trace that thing only with Mamelodi Sundowns, because Mamelodi Sundowns, it's evident and it's doing very, very well. Domestically, it's really doing well. Continentally, it's doing well up to a certain point. You know, this is what I saw in the first game, Bafana Bafana, the tournament, which confirmed for me, Uguti, hey, but you guys have got talent, but I don't think you can go to as far to a semi-final in this tournament, whereas you've got the ability to do that. You know, coming back to this thing, your selection, now we're going to see the reason why Hugo Broos was not supposed to be selected. We saw it, in fact, when he was brought in. Imagine if you had Riff Rossler in your bench, for example. I mean, you can't. He even said so, coach. Instead of pointing to the players, he points straight to the team, as if there is an agenda or something that off Nyana. You can't do that. 1996, yes, Orlando Pirates and Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs were dominating the team, but you would see kuna players asuka from other teams there. South Africa. Those teams were playing very, very poor, but his selection was not on the team. His selection was on the individual talent, whether it can boost a team, a squad, Bafana Bafana. That's what was supposed to be done here. It's not like Kaizer Chiefs now is playing poor, and we saw good Kaizer Chiefs from the beginning. Okay, this one is arguable. Anyone can say whatever. Kaizer Chiefs from the beginning of the season, it has never played poor. Kaizer Chiefs, its first game with Sundowns, we're supposed to win that game. We were robbed there. We shouldn't put these things aside. We were robbed there. In the top 8, we were robbed there. Kaizer Chiefs played well there. And
but let's stay with Bafana. Let's stay with Bafana.
What I'm trying to say here, is that there are players there at Kaizer Chiefs that are deserving to play Bafana Bafana. There are many players who are deserving to play from Orlando Pirates there Bafana Bafana. You can't tell me, Uguti, now we are left with Hugo Broos because Mutau is not there. That's a disgrace. Who is going to be there when Umvala is not going to be there? Okay. Who's going to be there when Ukekana is not there? You can't tell me Uguti or Bebu Come on, man. Okay, fine. What I can say from yesterday's game is that these guys, they've got the potential, as I was saying, that to go as much they can go. My cry is that we are going to cry, guys, and we are going to cry about these things that I'm saying. Unfortunately, yes, we need to go for the future right now. Bafana Bafana has the potential to go as far as they can. What I saw yesterday, they just need to just push, man. I don't trust them. That's the thing. I really do not trust them. I see them going as far as they can, but I don't trust them if they can win a tournament. But they've got the ability to win the tournament even, because I saw them as the better team in this tournament, by the way.
Okay. Let me go to Stooks. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, no, Luke, welcome to the show. Tell me, what did you think of this game?
Yesterday's game, ne?
Mm.
I don't know. A lot of us, we like even with me yesterday, we believe that Tunisia wasn't playing well, but upon checking the highlights today, it's safe to say Tunisia were just playing to get that crucial goal. Yeah, and then what we didn't do. Okay, firstly, we are all like relieved that we have made it through, and most importantly, that we went through without the semi back door, the best play. Went through like direct, but we had a chance of doing better yesterday, but we didn't take the advantage of that. But on the other side, or coming back to the issue of Tunisia playing to that important goal, because I checked here, Tunisia they tried to create some opportunities, but they wasted some chances of which they could have converted.
Okay.
Looking at how we were defending, because if you remember well, there's a ball that was defended with a back heel. I forgot who defended that ball.
Oh, I think it was Kekana.
Yeah, and it went straight to the Tunisian guy to take the shot. That was a potential goal, that one.
Okay.
So let us think what could have happened should that guy had scored that goal. How will be these conversations that we have in now? You see? So one thing that I'm concerned about is we can't impose ourselves. As like I disagreed on so many things with the guy that has just spoken, mostly on the domestic issues. But let us just focus on the people we have on that spot currently. Yeah. So on the issue of being emotionally like not there, our guys are not psychologically, they can't impose themselves like other teams, because somehow you need to bulldoze the game, more especially if teams are afraid of you. So they don't take that advantage, because Tunisia came into the game scared. They were very cautious because of the 4-0 that South Africa won against Namibia. But our guys, not even a single time the way I saw them imposing themselves, like forcing things on Tunisia. They were very soft throughout that game. And it was just by luck that Tunisia didn't convert in that game. Yeah. Because we play to react most of the time. Yes, we won against Namibia, but why couldn't we win against Tunisia? Because we should have just up the volume and say, no, we 4-0, and we were the first team to win by 4 goals this AFCON. No, let's go for it. You see, so we don't have that spirit in Bafana Bafana, and then now that spirit is where it's needed to say, let us go impose ourselves fully, physically, psychologically, emotionally. So we get that elusive goal, we lock the back door. That's how we're going to progress. But we wait to react to these teams. And it's going to be very tough for us if we don't change that mindset. This thing of, I don't believe this thing that we were playing for a draw. How can you play for a draw? One goal. We can't plan for 0-0. Because if those guys get one goal, we are done. We don't qualify. You see?
Okay.
So we can't take that risk. I don't think they were playing to that risk. I just think psychologically, mentally, the guys were poor yesterday. They couldn't impose themselves.
Okay. I'm gonna come back. Let me bring in Malume Kutso. Malume Kutso, how are you, my brother?
Well, how are you, Mr. OT?
I'm feeling like I'm through to the last 16. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. But man, something is wrong, Mr. OT. As Mengpegu Mahupa, man. Mahupa is not assisting us. He's not doing anything. Big man, let's forget to pray, lah.
Yabona ke ngiqalile ke guys. Hey mara.
Yabona let's forget to pray. They say shall 4-0. It's Tunisia. Come on, guys.
Hey, Mara, you guys.
Hi, guys. And there's this picture of Hugo Broos looking at Ashley Dupree go training. Yeah, I wonder if you see that picture, you'll understand. And Hugo Broos went to a press conference and said some players will never play for Bafana Bafana.
Come on, guys. Hey, let's stick to the game. Hey, Mara.
Abe sengisho nje ukuthi madoda ningayenzi kanje man. But truth be told, Mr. Uti, there's an issue for me na kuBafana Bafana. And this is a serious one.
Okay.
I think we have to tell one of the two guys to relax a bit and put their ego aside. They're good friends, but they're battling for the crown. Between Umshishi and Lopez, one must relax and work hard. You understand? One must be disciplined in my position. You understand? We can't have two floating players when we're playing against some superior opposition. There's a point that you made where Upresi moves from his side, runs to the right, but D-line. He half presses and it exposes that left side. It's Mudiba versus 3. It's coward. If you wanna press. You can't have press. Like we -1 already. And then Umshishi, because of age as well, we don't expect him to continuously not press sometimes, but we don't expect him to continuously press. But between the pressing and Umshishi, they must talk amongst each other to say, him starts a team.
Yeah.
Because it's killing us, Mr. And Eblaisa Mkwena Gaspani, Eblaisa Stole Gaspani, Eblaisa Mudau Gaspani, Eblaisa Ganakimanda man Mudiba Gaspani. You understand? And keep about my position. Now you see Umvala following a player right into midfield because we are going to Stola Geko, and if Stola Geko ukate side. One of the two guys. If not, one of the two guys must be subbed. You understand? And they are great players. I think two of the best players in the national team. We could use them effectively, but just one of them, G. Just one of them. And then it defense, Mr. Uti. Umutao must also. Umutao yamakane, but I feel like he's been playing defense for a long time now. By now, you should understand Uti. He's not a midfielder there. Let's just tend to say it looked good, but it's that guy. I feel like that guy could have hit that on target goal. How do you explain it? Come on, open the ball. The ball. Just 10 18. How is that even like? How does that work? You understand? There was a point also where because they were exposing our left hand side, like yesterday's game, it was not as close as the stats suggest. They had clear headers, Mr. Oti. Clear headers because our defense was misplaced and displaced because of pressing up front. But I saw we have to give props to Hugo Broos because at some point he noticed I have to bring on some more power here as on Makela Wafagumunari. Whether it worked or not, it's neither here nor there. But he could tell Witty, I'm one body short here, and I need to get someone in. Also, says to cover when Ustolen or Umugwena are SID. And I think it can somehow provide a new assessment to Tunisia. And to show Tunisia, I think, unlike Mali, unlike Namibia, they are one of the teams that actually studied us. Why can they actually studied us? When the ball was in Ronwen's hands, they would not just run away. What they would do was to stand right in front of him because they know this guy is dangerous. We'll keep it passing down. You understand? So they would delay. So it showed, and they also went for Umvala a lot because they knew which he was rough. They also went for Umudao a lot. Umudao. So you could tell which, you know what, Bahlebelwe. It's just that we don't believe in our powers, which we did very well. You understand? We did very well in the sense of which as Solila would say, Bona, they played well. We'll try and blame abo kanaking or infighting, what. No, those guys, Mr. OT, they had a plan and they tried to stick to it. Luckily, we could respond to it.
Okay.
You understand? And like I said, I want to give props to Grant Kikan. It takes a lot. You know, it takes a lot to do something stupid. We would say it's stupid in you. You understand? If a coach has Kabeli Bola go open space and you're like, but usually this is not allowed. I have to pass the ball to a player alarm. I have to kick. And coach is like, hey, don't take Kabeli Bola. And you simply just do that because Umvala unogwelu unokufuna ukudlala. But Ukekana is able to say, kick the ball.
Kwalami mati man.
Shut the back door. You understand? Grant Kekana is able to just divorce his feelings from how football should be played and just play to the coach's instruction. And the coach is more experienced than most of us, and I think the entire country at this point. So props to Grant Kekana. That's my say on it for now.
Okay. Guys, I'm getting some sort of warning from TikTok. I need to restart this live. So could you please just stay on? I'm going to go off and come back immediately. I'm going to bring on the same panel so we can finish it there. But can you please just come back? There's something happening on TikTok side. So very quickly, I'm going to come off and on. And then just the request again, the guys who are on, I'll let you guys in. So let me just quickly do that. I'll be back right now. Okay, apologies to everybody else also who's watching on YouTube. There's just some sort of warning that has come up here. So I'm just restarting the live. I'm just restarting the live on the TikTok side, and then we'll carry on with this conversation. While I do that, let me read some of the comments that are coming in. Cornelia says, Bafana Bafana has a good team. They will reach the finals, and anything can happen from there. Well done, Hugo Broos. Usoli has sent some hearts my way. Okay, so while I get the panel back and the people who are watching back on this side, let me start by saying from my side, and what I want to get into with the panel when I have everybody back, what I want to get to now is I feel as though we have an interesting thing that's happening in African football. And the interesting thing that's happening is that one of the teams that we thought were big teams, the teams that we thought were world beaters, and they had the pedigree, the trophies, they had all of these things in their side. It feels as though that's going away. And I wanna use the example of Mamelodi Sundowns here when they go play in CAF Champions League. A lot of us go, hey, it's Al Ali. Hey, with that, how are you going to beat those guys? Hey, how are you going to play with those guys? And then you go and watch the game and Al Ali's parking the bus. You go and watch the game and with that is parking the bus. Are we maybe experiencing, and this is the conversation I want to have with the panel that was on, are we experiencing a situation where the balance of power in Africa has shifted, and that maybe Abo Equatorial Guinea, Abo South Africa, Abo's Banbani, the different teams that weren't necessarily the top guys, and when you look at a ranking, they're not necessarily going to be the top guys, but when you watch the game, you can see that there's a little bit of a difference. Because yesterday, one of the things that I would say I noticed was that Tunisia, I don't know if it's because we won 4-0 the game before, but they weren't attacking, man. And I was in the same situation I was in when I was watching Al Ali playing Sundowns. It was that leg when they were in Egypt. And in my head, I came in and I thought to myself, Yazi, I'm expecting these guys to come in guns blazing. So we're going to see the red smoke. Everybody's going to be up. You know, Al Ali, when you went to go play in Egypt, it was a place where you'd lose. And now I'm sitting here looking at Tunisia and I'm going, hey man, Tunisia, by all intents and purposes, are meant to be the stronger team here. They're meant to be the team that was going to go for it. Not only are they bottom of the log, but I kept counting down. Last 30 minutes, now they're not attacking. Last 25 minutes, these people are not coming. Last 20, last 15, last 10, and they're still not coming. They're still not attacking. And in my head, I was starting to think, man, is it maybe a case that we underrate Bafana and overrate these teams? I said at the beginning, for those who saw my opening monologue, the beginning part of it, I did say that I'm learning a lot about what I thought Africa was by watching these teams. Ghana, Ivory Coast. Remember, we went to go play Ivory Coast with Zaha, and we were like, "Hey man, this can't be the same team that we're speaking about when we talk about Abu Didier Drogba and all those guys." When you look at how Ghana performed, when you look at how Egypt performed, when you look at how the superpowers, with only the exception of Senegal, played. Are things changing? Kuma, are things changing in African football that we are underrating Bafana Bafana and some of the quote-unquote smaller teams and overrating these old guys based on old information?
Yeah, before I answer that, when is Kosafa playing? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Don't say it.
Yeah,
Don't say it. Please don't say it.
Say what?
I know where
But
you're
why?
going.
You
But
always-
what- I got
But
you. I know where you're
no, I
going.
gotta- wow. I get it. Maybe the team from Naturena could play Kosafa. And to make it fair, they can also choose their man of the match and who gets to start. And maybe they can also add in Bomufukeng, Boloche, Bosaleng, so they can have their revenge in Botswana. Just to, I love peace. So everyone can have a chance to play for the national team, Yeah.
Hey, Mara,
So-
back to the question. Hey, Mara.
You know what? Okay, biased aside, I think Sundowns has gave us a sense of belief, has gave us that fear no one. Sundowns has gave us the ability to take on any opponent without fear, any favor one. And in the past, the most of our best performing Bafana teams was with players who also played overseas, even the great Dr. Kumalo was playing in the United States at that point, you had people who were playing overseas. So now it's more of local can be lager, and especially the way we've been utilizing local. Granted, Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco have been using their local base players, but one thing about them.
Kuma, are you still with me?
He did say he might have load shedding at 8. So
Yeah, I think it hit him. Okay, no, Kumo, if you can come back. Let me go to Tebza. Something a little very old school mindset where Bafana Bafana is really, really, really bad, and then the rest of these other teams are really, really good. Khanti, maybe in actual fact it's the other way around.
Yeah, you are right. You are right because we think we still have that mentality already. Those African teams, the normally called giants, the Nigerias, the Cameroons, and all that. We still have that thing already. They are that good. They are that strong. You understand? But then before the AFCON started, we were sitting with my friends, and then we analyzed their players, how they were selected, and we saw these teams here, they are not that good. You understand? We also looked at how we played against them the last time we played them with Hugo Broos. We saw literally in the games they were not that bad. We say we had no chance. So and then another thing, the players that are representing us right now, they are used to playing with against these guys. You understand? So but again, stage fright is it because it's a totally different competition. It's a bigger competition, yes, but then once you get into the game, one moment you get your groove back. You understand? You get your senses back. Or no man, can you understand? So you get your confidence. You go at them. You lose respect for them. You know what these people, I can just beat them. You understand? Also, again, these big teams have a lot of internal problems. You understand? If you go to live, I attend other lives, these other countries. They complain about the very same way we're complaining. Believe you me, they are complaining. The selection staff are to people that are being left behind, that are playing locally for them. They're only selecting European players. They don't select their own players. Cameroon, they were not born here. They were born and bred overseas. They don't know how it feels to play here and all that. Maybe the passion, the Cameroon, they don't have it. You understand? So maybe that also affects them because of Bona. That time they played for their countries with such passion. They knew how much it means to wear that jersey, and they knew who wore those jerseys before them. You understand? So with this current generation, I don't see that. And also I don't see the star players coming through for them. You understand? They don't show up. They don't show up. There are many players that I can pinpoint. They don't do anything. Some are even they were even imagine Bo Mahrez being benched last night. I was surprised. Oh, these players are being benched. You understand? So we must appreciate what Bafana Bafana is doing right now, even though we also know who we left our some other stars and they longer we believe we could have even been better than what we are right now. Like the Sipo Bule, you understand? We know what Engelo Baterin Bule. If we are subbing off Zwane, we put on Bule.
Yeah.
Amper same quality. You understand? Something like that. So let's appreciate what Bafana Bafana is doing right now, because the challenges that we are facing right now, we are not the only ones. They are also facing the very same problems, just that we are at least able to overcome them in a way.
Okay. Stokes, are we living in the past when it comes to some of these teams that, man, we think that, and Bafana aside, we've seen in this AFCON tournament that the quote-unquote great teams have been struggling, and maybe it's time for us to reevaluate how we look at these teams.
Yeah, I think it's just the gap that is closing. Yeah, if you check teams like Cape Verde, but setting they are helped by the fact that they've got a lot of players that were not born from their own countries, but then players that are not known. Because I think those bigger teams or so-called bigger countries, their main downfall is that a lot of their players are well known, and there's a lot of expectations about them when they come to such competitions.
Yeah.
And African football has evolved a lot, and it evolved whilst they are in Europe, you see. So even when it comes to the way our teams are playing, I think we have developed an idea, an identity for South African football, coping from what Mamelodi Sundowns have been doing. Because if you check our football, it's close, even on our local teams. If you check Pirates is very pacey, but very quick. That's the Pirates that we know. I know they are having problems currently, but they've got that identity that is fast-paced, quick players, but closely linked to Mamelodi Sundowns. They can terrorize these North African teams as well.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing, when it comes to, because when you look at CAF Champions League, mostly your Congo, TP Mazembe, they've downgraded those ones. We're looking carefully between the South African teams and
the North African
North.
teams. Yeah.
Yeah, very
the
North
two
African
North Africans. Yeah.
Yeah. Your Tunisian teams, Egyptians, Morocco, and then those teams they are suffering with the kind of football we are playing. That Sundowns is playing, to be precisely.
Okay.
Because that is why whenever Sundowns is playing against them, they are always on a defensive mode. Because they know, like the football we playing, it's terrorizing those guys, and they are very predictable when we're going to play against them. That's the other thing that is giving us leverage, because you know that they'll pump balls, they will defend firstly, and then they'll pump those crosses. So if we plan against, if we close all the crosses against the North African teams, you are one step on your win. Yeah, so
Okay.
I think that's the other thing that is killing those guys. But when it comes to the Western countries, yeah, it's largely politics and egos as well. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come back again. Agent, we've had this conversation a few times when watching Sundowns in the Champions League, and I remember us speaking about it specifically when they went to go play Al Ali and they went to go play Wydad, and there was so much respect, right? Is it a matter of respect? Are we getting better? Are we underestimating teams like Bafana Bafana and overestimating the older giants in African football?
Yeah, I think we've, as a country, before I go to your question generally, I think we've earned the respect. We have earned our stripes to be respected, I think that 4-0 drubbing of Namibia was very, very important to remember that these are the same guys that could beat Egypt Al Ali 5-0 and whatever. So be careful, eh? So I think we've earned that respect and that fear as a consequence of that, But for me, generally, I think it's one thing that I've observed is cohesion and a process. If you look at the teams that are doing well, the so-called dark horses, they have one thing, cohesion, and they are in the middle of a process,
Yeah.
I don't know how many people remember this Cape Verde team. That is not the first time they're doing these miracles, The past couple of AFCONs, they've been in and around there, playing good football, Equatorial Guinea, I think they finished in the top 8 last AFCON. Angola, like these are teams who have developed as a team, as a unit. And I think with us, it's a case of selecting players from a certain team, and they have that cohesion from that team, So other African countries, you're choosing stars and they're not necessarily linked, because remember, most players came a week before a tournament, So I think that's one thing. And another thing is, and it's one thing that you mentioned before, is which teams have star players, man? Like, we don't have star players anymore, So who is there to fear? Like yesterday, we feared Mailulu. Imagine, we feared Mailulu. Yeah, So Mali, we feared Abu Haidara, like midfielders. We didn't have and we don't fear him like that. We don't fear him in the same way as Abu Keita, the Mali Keita. So besides Salah, maybe Osimhen, and Osimhen is, we don't know if it was a one-season wonder or what. I can't call him a star now. Who else is there?
Sadio. Don't forget Sadio.
Yeah, Sadio. So yeah. I think those are my 2 superstars in the continent right now. So I think the lack of a fear factor, plays a role also, that I don't fear Tunisia. Who am I supposed to fear them, And then also the aging squad. Most of these African teams have milked this cow. This cow is now dry, So they're super tired, these guys, So I think there's that case also. And we're playing against young players who are hungrier, more energetic, I think if you take Ghana, player for player, experience-wise, and teams they're playing for, I think it was better than all the teams in that group, or perhaps maybe besides the number 1 team there, But still, they got 2 points, because that squad is aged, and they're playing against people who are intricate, And then again, on top of that, is passion. I don't know, man. I miss the days of Abu Drogba, you know, like people were willing to go there, you know,
You
like
see Eto sitting in the stands, and it's like he could go down to the pitch himself now and go kick the ball.
yeah, I mean, like even when he's celebrating as a CAF president, he shows more passion than those players, you know. So I think the passion is gone from our players. And like I said, sometimes the case of age, like I don't think Ayu has passion, man. I know he cares a lot, but I think it's just a crybaby. I don't think it's passion. You are tired, man. You've been carrying this team, and with others, it's a case of misplaced priorities. Look at Salah. It is possible that Salah can recover in time for final, but he decides that he's gonna recover in Liverpool, in England.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But you are the captain of Egypt. Even if you're injured, you know, you stay there. You know, you rally the boys. I think if you recall,
Others got on private jets immediately. It's same night after getting knocked out, they were gone.
Yeah? And others came late, even later after time was restarted. You know, and look at Abu Ronaldo, man, and was it the Euros where he was injured for the semi-final and final? You know, and he was there on the bench rallying the boys. You know, we like that passion. And lastly, for me, I think it's like I don't know if it was Lax or Tebo who said politics. You know, like I think football has too much politics, and I think there's a conversations that we have had before that sometimes we look at ourselves and say, "Hey man, we are West, Jani Jokitan, what, politics." But up there, it looks like things are not as rosy as we think they are. You know, someone gave an example of Inek Williams. You know, he was on the bench. You know, but he goes there and scores, you know, so there's too much politics. About Zaha were not selected, you know, other stars are on the bench, so yeah, just too much turmoil for me, yeah.
Okay. Vuyo, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you? You can just unmute there, Vuyo. Okay, I'll come back to Vuyo. Kolani, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
I'm alright, Mr. Otsi. How are you, my guy?
Hi, man. Minangula 16 grand, gimnandi. Tell me, are we underestimating Bafana Bafana and some of the smaller teams? And are we looking at some of the teams at AFCON, man, through lens from 20 years ago? Why lens yamanje, Paul?
Yeah, that might be the case. It's we trauma, Mr. Otsi. It trauma, Mr. Otsi. And abanye they're not used to watch these games. They're not familiar with how teams should approach games now. People want the boys to go all out and trying to score. But be careful and with tournament you have to do what you have to do, man, Mr. Otsi. If you have to sit back and keep 0 behind for you to qualify, you just do this, Mr. Otsi, and then move on to the next stage. So yeah, Mr. Otsi.
Do you see the parallels between Bafana Bafana and Sundowns? Because we've had these conversations here where we've asked good time, and maybe we don't King, maybe we don't respect Bafana Bafana the way we should be respecting them.
Obvious, Mr. Otsi. And I think what agent just said with the scoreline between against Namibia, it was iffy effect, and the fact that my players Tunisia are used to playing ICAF football, so they know my players sometimes. So they were familiar faces, and
No, it's fine.
And they know what those players are capable to for young tournament. So the fact that they wanted to sit Umalula on the bench, it shows they know I'm a players as South Africa, and they did their research. So but they also know Mkwena can cause problem for Umailul, so they have to sit him down. Yeah, Mr. Otsi. Mr. Otsi. I so wish Umutao, no, not Umutao, I mean, Umodiba could be utilized fully,
Yeah.
Can like improve something to his fullest abilities.
Mm,
Because I
mm,
think
mm.
now lento show talks ukuthi ngathi na mayidlala kwi left back angasudlala ubambe handbrake yabo. He doesn't venture forward that much, and if we want to kill time as he does at Sundowns, we use him a lot for keeping the ball, law short passes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So if we could like play a proper left back, because we're doing the same thing, like we right hand side here to kudlale umutao and then uthapelo kahle ka right kudlala ama right back out too, so
Okay.
there's cover lapha. If we could also play Usbisi or maybe no, not Usbisi, I'll just say it, if we could play Terence and also Mutiba on the right, there'll be also a cover lapha for Ilokuzani left back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Hayi mara nithi as kusho doctor nathi sikhulumile lento but it's fine. Let me go to Vuyo. Vuyo, are you with me? You can just unmute your mic.
Sure, my brother.
Hey, ngiyezwa lapha background na bakhala ngoBruce.
Next sikhale ngoBruce.
Tell me, Vuyo. Hey.
uBruce usipanile siyile ku-AFCON, what more?
Hayi,
Siyadlala
ngiyeza ngifuna ngizokubuza ngoHugo, that's my next question. Ngiyeza ngifuna ukubuza ngale ukuthi are we underestimating eBafana Bafana and overestimating lama big team?
not really. For me now, I'm supporting them fully and I'm happy so far so good the way they perform.
Mara
Because
aren't you shocked ngabo Ghana, ngabo Egypt, ngabo Ivory Coast getting knocked out here?
There's nothing there left, Mos. They used to be good, but not anymore. Yeah, the only strongest team is Senegal, Morocco. They are the one who are strong. Everyone knows. If you don't know, look at the squad of they have. Yes, in Morocco, there's no one who actually is playing regularly in Africa. So Senegal is similar the same. Sadio Mane, Koulibaly, you can name all the players of Senegal. So yes, they have the experience. They are playing well. Even the youngsters, they are fitting well. And the coach is a Senegal coach. He know the culture of Senegal. He know everything. So me now, I can't blame anyone. I am just supporting behind here. And the selection of the coach, there's no time to point fingers. It's very too late. Let's just accept what it is. Because it's not the first time that we're selecting a squad that it doesn't deserve to go there. Everyone will have an opinion. So me now, I'm happy with the squad, the way they are playing. OT, even yourself, you know that South Africa is suffering when it's coming to scoring goals.
Yeah.
How long? Which player can reach 22 goals in the past 5 years? Which one do you know? There's none. We can reach even all the players that we're crying if he was there. What he's doing is a team in yakhe. Wenzani team in yakhe? Ufoster udlala every day ku Kaizer Chiefs. I know.
One to three.
Udipri una how many goals? Career. Una how many goals career? So it doesn't matter mfethu. Bonke labantu bayafana for me. Yafana. Because you can't reach even 12 goals. A best striker in South Africa right now is Peter Shaluli, who is consistent each and every season, and Kanye Samai. But the rest, no. There's nothing. Yafana sibani noma yini hayi. For me now, I am good.
Okay.
And evidence is proven wrong. Hey, uyadlala.
Mara akakori, but it's fine.
Akakori vele ujwayele ukukora na. Yeah, ujwayele capable of scoring goals. Una how many goals, career goals? Una how many goals? But I'm disappointed with Upesi. Upesi, no. It's not doing anything. I know.
Okay.
Even going forward, marking nothing esithola kuwe. Makaphuma nikumaseko ijezi, that's simple. Simple. Akaphuma uPercy, ayeke kubhizi aphaselane noThemba Zwane edlala itikitaka noThemba. Makaphume nje. Just all.
Okay. Ngizobuya,
Yeah.
ngizobuya. Tebza. Ngiyabuya, ungawari buya. I'm coming back. Khona le question engifuna ukubuza yona. Tebza, I want to come back to you. I'm going to ask the question, how do we feel about Bruce right now? How do you feel about Hugo Broos at the current moment?
My guy, it's mixed feelings. To be honest, it's mixed feelings. You understand? I'm happy because of the results that he has been giving us. Understand? And only the results. To be let's be honest, it's only the results. Play wise, we are not happy. No one is happy about how we on how we are playing. But then we are only happy about the results. Understand? So you can even see Gaga the selection. More squading. We are not going to play nice or anything. But then results wise, I'm getting the job done. What else do you want? You were not qualifying, guys. You were not winning games. You were not feared. I'm here. All of a sudden, things have changed. He has the right to say so in our faces, and we won't say anything. You understand? He's right. He has facts. They affect. You understand? Those things affect. We have qualified. Now we have qualified again for round of 16. You understand? And then you can see on how our opponents are approaching us game wise. They respect us. They don't undermine us. You understand? Even other countries' fans, they are now changed tune after we have given bargain the Namibia 4-0. You understand? There's this other guy, Barge Stone. I don't know if you know him. He's from yeah. Before the AFCON started, that guy said South Africa is going there at Cote d'Ivoire for an excursion. They're going there just to see how Cote d'Ivoire is and go back home. Now he's singing a different tune. Why? Because of he saw what he saw. You understand? And that is Hugo Broos's work. We cannot take that away from him. So it's mixed emotions. We know we South Africans like to play nice football. You can even hear from local football. We complain we're not playing nice football. Next door. You understand? We want nice football and to win. But then now, Hugo Broos, we say we must choose one. We played nice football first game, we lost. Then he said, no more nice football. We're going for results. So we just have to be happy, guys. We are forced to be happy with Hugo Broos, with what he's doing right now. And also believing in young players. He took Masayoko, he's 19, and he said it when he first arrived here. He said he wants young players. Now he wasn't able to enforce that because we don't have enough young players that are quality. You understand? So he was forced to go back to Bozwanis. We know Ronaldo, but then he was forced because we didn't have the same quality on young players. If we had young players playing like Zwane, he wasn't going to select Zwane because of his age. You understand? He wants to build our country for the future. Rebecca even years to come after him. You understand? So generally, I would say happily the Bruce. And I'm happy with Bruce, guys.
Okay, maar Karuna is something good swearing, but it's fine. Let me go to Looks. How do we feel about Hugo Broos, Looks?
I'll go back to your words. Yes. You mentioned the fact that it's better to get our winning ways first. And then I know we hammer him on our style of play. But because he's getting the results, let the guy continue. Up until, let's say, like you said, let's just get one trophy nyana and then that recognition. Then after we are getting used to winning, because he has shown us that he can twitch the playing styles. Because we have played 3 games, almost 3 different styles of play. So it means we can easily, and he has a backup, Sundowns, playing we care for the international level. So it's easy to copy and paste or use the template of Mamelodi Sundowns. But firstly, like you said, let's get our winning ways, and then the playing will sort it after. Based on the results, let the guy continue.
Okay. Agent, do you have your cape on? Do you have your cape on?
It's odd, eh? I see. My lawyers are not around here, so I bought the bazookas and the everything.
Okay, tell me, how must you feel about Hugo Broos?
You know, I think that we should ask the same question maybe 2 weeks from now. You know, so that we'll see the genuine ones, eh? Because this is an adult, it's a family show, but you know, you can ask a man for a train the morning after that thing, you know, and he'll say he'll give it to you, you know. So I think this question must be asked again, but not to sound philosophical or anything. I think the first mistake is Kalane is on top of me. That's the first mistake, but it's fine. Because I know him, eh? But you know, not, like I said, not to sound philosophical for no good reason. I'm like a stand coach, but you know, in life, you know, and I can take leave from the Bible. You know, there was a certain man, David and Goliath. You know, David defeated Goliath. You know, but after defeating Goliath, the king in that area abused David more than the giants did, you know. So sometimes, you know, when you help people, that also gonna abuse you more, you know. So I think we are allergic to success. Some people are just allergic to success, you know. So when you Bafana, which was a so-called bunch of losers, and now you win and people don't want him, you know, and the same guy who has returned a bit of pride into the national team, the God's favorites, Abu Pizzo and others, Abu Baxter, Abu others, I can mention them. They came, they failed. Only Sheikhs tried, you know, but others came.
But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, now we're talking about Abu Vini now. but you know, I think he is the best coach that has coached Bafana in the recent memory. Simple as that, you know. Other things are academic, eh? And I think we had this discussion in the group with Brian on top of me that coaches will always have their favorites. Maguire is always picked, you know. Some coaches, Zabalaza, you know, we know Pichu is the biggest Zabalaza in the world. You know, we know Rulani will tell you that Kaizer Chiefs is is God's favorite, you know. Yeah. You know, he will tell them that, hey, that the stuckish behavior, you know. So it's the modern game, you know. And if you talk and you can deliver, no problem. Be like Jose, you know. I know he said Jose Mourinho is someone else, but still, if you talk and deliver, it's fine. So yeah, for me, best coach in the recent memory. Those who are disagreeing, they can hack the DRS transform. It's fine.
Not in good times, but now. Let me go to Clan. How should we feel about Bruce?
Hey, Santawana lapho liyamthanda mkhulu. No,
Nibatshwayela abantu abakhulumayo ngisho straight up.
Mr. OT, no, for now, ngizokhuluma ngoBruce kule tournament. I think he has delivered, my guy. We can't falter him. We qualified for the next round. My problem with Hugo Broos is not his tactics. My problem with him is his stubbornness, my guy. Like Hugo Broos, usenesikhathi esingakanani efikile kuBafana Bafana Mr. Uthi? Is it 3 years?
Yeah, I think it's his third year.
Third year. And he just realized there is no player like Tembazwan. my problem with him is that, Mr. Oti. And the fact that he takes time like to detect a problem. It takes time to answer, because like as you were live is all, like it took like 45 minutes to make it a tactical change, because bebesidla lapha ka left, Mr. Oti. You're not a coach, I'm not a coach, but besibona le nto leyana first. But the first agent who is saying he planned for Umalul and Umalul wasn't there. Kusho ukuthi ayekho proactive. Yeah, I'm telling Mr. Oti. The problem yami bethu ngokuNhugo Broos ukuthi he always puts his ego over South Africa. Yeah, but the guy won AFCON, but we can't question him about the tournament. He knows how to play AFCON. Yeah, but in unalo experience there. So I can't question him on that. Now to qualify. Yeah, but so my problem with him is really Mr. Oti, is stubbornness. He wanna prove the point that he can do this without using players garulani. That's all. Because all along he wasn't selecting players garulani. All of a sudden you say ambiza umtawu. That's all, Mr. Oti. All of a sudden you say ambiza ukekani. Uqulu. The first uqale ngoqulu kwi first game, it shows ukuthi this guy always wanna prove a point, my guy. But yena uyalazi ibhola, ama tactics akhe to play big tournaments. Like he specializes on that. But akangasprove a point ukuthi he knows football better than wonke ama coaches of South Africa. The first ukuthi ufike wadelela abantu mfethu wathi this guy he won't select this guy because he's old. It shows that he rates himself above, then he can't blame Kashil. That's my thing. But on tactics and all that, I feel let's give him his flowers first. So they need to qualify for the next round, for the last 16. So I can't fault him.
Okay. Vuyo, you can just unmute there. How should we feel about Hugo Broos?
Sure. Angithandi kufakaza kakhulu ngale ndoda le. Angizange ngayithanda from the first place. So disrespect yakhe ne ego yakhe. But so far so good. Uye wabona ama mistakes wakhe lapho nalapho. To select the right players for the national team, because each player is selected according to performance, how you play in your team. Yeah, so isizile lapho nalapho, but still uTulu ufuna national team, so angeke kubuyele back lapho. There are so many players I'm a favorite wakhe, but decision yakhe it's final, by the way. So I understand, because le ku Belgium bahambe namakhehla baya World Cup bayodliwa le. Even Calvin De Bruyne washo wathi we have all squad, so there's nothing you can do. They select Hazard injury Real Madrid, angadlali at all. They go with him. So there is certain player. Even now, I feel otherwise ngomona police lane. This boy was deserving ukuthi ayodlala. Even though angadlali teamini yakhe, Khanyisa Mayo deserve ukuthi lapha. It's the second time aba consistently to scoring goals, because the problem is a scoring. Even now, Pesita wait, you know how many goals? You know how many goals? I got assist these days, so yeah, that is the problem is now. Otherwise, Abu Bruce, coach already made. So if you coach already made, then it's a problem, because South Africa as now already made a Europe and big names. So Magafika Cameroon that time there was already a cream. Okay, there is a player. even though akakabi famous, but there is ama-players. But thina asinawo lento le. UFoster nangu akazanga, itori azazi itori. Yeah, so it's this phenomenon. But so far so good. We are happy, but it's not the first time see Richard is about Ngaye. No. Last time you remember we lose against Nigeria. It was Golden Ikasin OT. If I'm mistaken, you can correct me. We remember when we go with Golden Ikasin, maybe it was last 8 or last what. So let's not doing like which is the first time see class 16, but it's not the first time. Yeah, it's not the first time. It's doing well with the players of Sundowns. Yes. Yeah, so Ijalo. If it was in Sundowns, ngaba sikho la.
Ufuna activate abantu, but it's fine. Let me go to Neo. Neo, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you? Hi, man. You're right. Tell me now, how must we feel about Hugo Broos?
Yeah, you gonna honestly wafethu cabanga ukuthi manje uyenzile umsebenzi. I think imajority yethu njengabantu basemzansi we didn't think ukuthi manje we could make it this far, but at the end of the day siya counter today we speaking sida it's all. So for me nanje like Hugo for me nacho like I think kwamele si stop ukumquestion because at the end of the day njengoba stop ukuthi ucoach unama favorites wakhe you can go anywhere. That's all. So since manje go coach masimgaya ni chance more especially kule tournament because we of which is yazi ukuthi manje squad is only 23 players and players still ngathi sina okay fine kube waselectile but akawaselectanga but no siva si besingabelieve ukuthi singa so masimgaya ni chance and I think it's a good thing. Good man, now you are decide what you know what. When it comes to the AFCON, I should go with Sundowns players. And yeah, Joe. At the end of the day, Sundowns here dominate Mzansi. Sundowns in those good players, so we needed them.
Okay. For me, now, let me just jump in. For me, the way I view this thing, on my side, is that sometimes you need somebody that's unpopular to do unpopular things in order for you to get that first win. So I don't mind Hugo Broos personally. The problem with Hugo Broos is just his mouth. But other than that, I don't mind Hugo Broos because sometimes you need somebody that's gonna say, guys, standing on top of the ball, it's great. It's beautiful. It looks great. South Africans will be happy. But sometimes you need somebody who's going to come in and say, hey, Mara guys, Lenteni Enzayo objectively is not going to win us anything. And I spoke, was it yesterday or the day before? I spoke about how I believe that what we need in a lot of teams, not just the Bafana Bafana in South Africa, what we need are people that are going to lay the foundation. You start laying a foundation and a standard, and then everything else that you build on top of that comes from that standard. So if we get to the semifinals of the AFCON, that is our standard. Now, whether Bruce Ukona Ageko, whether it's beautiful football, whether you're bringing in pizza or they're doing whatever, now we've got a base to go on. I use the example of Upizzo. Upizzo wasn't the most loved guy at Sundowns when he started. A lot of people say that Pizzo's football is not incredible, it's not what. But because he won, he laid a foundation that we now know, Steve, Rulani, whoever comes afterwards, they are going to have to adhere to that standard. And I think that's where Bruce is very important. And sometimes that person is not always going to be the most loved person or the most liked person or going to do the things that we enjoy. But the statements that he made in this tournament were very simple. First game, I played your way. We didn't win. Second and third game, we played mine and we got something out of these. So maybe we must, there's a quote that he said in his press conference after the Namibia win, where he said, I told the boys that there are just some things, some little things that we need to cut out in your game for us to be effective and things like that. And you need somebody that's going to do that. Look at the Sundowns now. It's not just Shusha and Piano for just Shusha and Piano's sake. It's Shusha and Piano, and now you're a CAF. Now you're a CAF person. Whoever comes in has to adhere to that standard now. So I hope that in this tournament, Bruce can set the proper standard and show us what's possible. Somebody here earlier said that we never used to look at Bafana Bafana a certain way. Now we're looking at them and you're like, hi man, even the people that may be the biggest haters of Bafana, you're now looking at them and going, hi man, is Bafana Bafana that bad compared to Tunisia? Is Bafana Bafana that bad compared to Ivory Coast, Ghana? All of these teams, are we really that bad? Are we? Hi man, why are these teams parking buses and doing weird things when they come play us? It's to change this, man. Hey, we've got trauma, man. Hey, it's petty trauma. But anyway, Tabza, for the last question I'm going to ask you, just very quickly, what do you think is going to happen in the Morocco game?
If we play without fear, this is the stage where you must play without fear because anything can happen. You understand? They must just play without fear. We are already proud of them as it is right now because the whole country is happy. No one gave them a chance of going to the round of 16. Let them go out there, go at those guys. You understand? Because I think Morocco will come at us. You understand? Because they believe already they are superior than us, and they still have that thing already. We've beaten them the last time, so they want their revenge at the biggest stage. So we must not fear them. We must go at them, and that's where we're going to get chances to score because they're a team that believe in playing football. They will come at us. So the spaces behind those defense will be there. We must go at them. When we get chances, guys, let's finish them. That's the key thing here. When you get your chances, finish them. When you waste, you are bound to lose because they're gonna get one chance, they're gonna punish us. Understand? And I want us to go to get to the semis, get Nigeria and punish them. Those guys are disrespecting us here on TikTok, my guy. I feel offended every time it's South Africa this, South Africa that. The other one was even dancing to Amapiano. I say, Amapiano, stick to Amapiano, South Africa. You understand? So I want us to go to the semis just for them.
Well, I want a revenge, you just want
Yeah,
revenge.
because they're so against that. It's like they here to bash us. So I want them to, I saw that fixture thingy. So if we get to the semifinals and they win their games, we're gonna get Nigeria. Let's get there to punish those guys. I now believe in Bafana that we can do it. Having watched all of the games, those countries play, they're not that great as we say they are. We have a chance, guys.
Thank you, Tabza. Let me go to Thuks. How should we approach a game in Morocco?
No, I think Morocco will come cautious, as all these North African teams, they are very stressed right now. All of them, yeah. So they will come cautious, but same tactic as Tunisia and the rest. They will pump up those crosses in our 18 yards. So we close the wings, and then we play our football. Should we score first, we will get more than maybe 1 or 2 goals in that match. The key thing is to score first. But if they beat us, they might get a 1-0 win of us. If they can score first, we should protect that thing of let us. And what they do, these guys, they track these matches towards the end of the match. If you have been watching these games, they'll score around 85th minutes. They know when they get that goal, they lock behind. So let's get an early goal and then impose ourselves based on that. And we shouldn't sit back. Yeah.
Okay. Kolani, how should we approach this Morocco game?
Yeah, Mr. Uti, I'm only worried about Umdao. hopefully by it's game ifika uzobe right esirecovered. But for me, I think it's going to be a very boring game, and it's going to be a very, very tactical game. Mainly because we have my players that are used uh, to playing CAF games, and I think we should use that as our advantage. So for me, I'll play a proper left back because Uziach and Hakim will be coming at us. They'll be doing the overlapping lap as they used to do. So we're gonna need Modiba lap is gonna need the assistant. For me, I'll play a proper left back and then Modiba Pamwab for him to assist, and then I won't like use Umohopa, but he's been good. So for performance asinikeze on these past 3 games angibeki ngizomfaka, but I think a speed will help us a lot. Maybe second half come Utapelo Maseko. Yeah, but first half I think we should like try by all means not to concede, and then see intensity in the second half, Mr. Uti.
Okay. Okay, no.
Hopefully Umdawu uzobe right because unikho Mobi.
Ikelani Mobi, man. Mobi's been a Bafana player for 2 years now already.
Yeah, or maybe sifake Usbisi and then sidla su grant ka right, because usually with Sundowns he varies, but we are yenzeka ndlela right, yenzeka dlala center back.
Okay.
For the time, okay.
Malume Kuto, yes, I am closing. Tapela also see in the queue. I am going to close now. We're at the end of the show. No, I'm going to ask you differently. Ngizokubuza ukuthi sishaya kanjani Morocco. How should we approach the game to beat them?
Yeah, hey. Game leyo. But I think for me, obviously, because of our results previously, Morocco is also get. So, the best things kwamele sichune I think ama chances swathola if ever we can score qala ku Morocco, then so allow ukuthi basivulele lapha emuva bazama ukuattack kanyana, because obviously ama knockout. So if ever singakora kuqala masinga concede, let's not concede, masizama ukora. I don't know how. I think opposite masimgaya chance, because he game against Tunisia, I think he was instructed with Yazin, don't go Gibo, just must defending a ball position. So I think big instruction about Kawayan. So we game in they know they've got nothing to lose. I mean, we're 16, we have to score. I think we evidence here game Guamela Paramis evidence I score. Even though I am told us Kala Magani, I'm applying run and stuff, but he has to score this time around.
Okay. Yeah. No, thank you so much. It's just that but yeah, no, it's fine, guys. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think for me, guys, Bruce and this Bafana team have done what most of us have said was the minimum requirement. So we've put it on this team that they're minimum requirements. But either way, we should support this team. We should get behind them. Now is the time for them to show that they can go into another gear, because usually AFCONs rarely start kicking off in the knockout stages. And we need them to come out and play and show that they are part of the big boys. There was a comment made here that Sundowns, as amazing as it is, they haven't been able to win a CAF Champions League, even though they've won the AFL now recently. And I think these are the squeaky bum moments, as they say, where we need to show that we can and will do it. I think we do know that we have the level of talent in the team where we can take on a lot of the big teams, as we've beaten Abu Morocco before, right? So let's give them hope. Let's hope that they're going to come out and play. And in terms of Hugo Broos, again, I'm not the biggest fan of Hugo Broos, his mouth. But as a coach, and up to this point, I think he's shown us that, look, guys, I know what I'm doing. I can take this team. Yes, there have been fights. Yes, there are things that maybe he's missed he's also come out and said that, only fools don't change their minds. And he's changed his mind for a few things so that he could get in and give us this strong team. Where we're lacking with stars, we've got an incredible unity. And I think bringing in the Sundowns guys and bringing in Hugo Broos with his experience is going to help guide us. My only worry is when it's crunch time, do we have enough in us to get over the line? And from what we've seen, when you look at the Ghana game, World Cup, and I know people talk about the referees and all of that, great, but when you look at the Ghana games, when you look at some of the more important games that we've had in our group stage matches and things like that when qualifying, they tend to disconnect at this point. So I think to help them out, like I said before, let's support them, let's get behind them. And one other thing that I want to make clear from my side, or I'd love to ask everybody to also be wary of. Guys, we've been through a lot with Bafana Bafana. We've been through a lot. Bafana Bafana has put us through the darkest of shadows at points during our time following them. So you can't blame people for being pessimistic at this time. You can't blame people for still viewing Bafana Bafana as the Bafana Bafana from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, as we view some of the stronger teams, quote unquote, in the AFCON as these incredible people. So when we support, when we do well, when we lose, when we do whatever, guys, space, man. Don't make it such a tough thing for me to change my mind and jump onto the bandwagon to support the Bafana Bafana. Because some people may want to support, but then you'll be held to, that time, let's open, guys. Let's open, and then let's foster the support. On the other end too, guys, you're negative, it's great. You're negative, you want to be negative, you feel negative like that, right? But let's not devalue what Bafana Bafana is doing right now. We may not love Bruce, we may not love the people who are chosen, we may not agree with a lot of the things. Mara, now they're performing. So can we get behind them? At the very least, let's not make it so hard for the others, because the coin on both ends, it's the same. We win the AFCON, the people who are always behind Bafana Bafana are going to come back and say, hey, Tina, we were there. We lose against Morocco, we lose wherever, the people who are negative are going to come out and be negative. Let's try and be together for this time and be supporters. We can criticize, we can speak about some things, but let's not be unnecessarily mean or negative to a degree that is over. These are the players we have. These are the players that went there. Whether we like them, whether we don't like them, it is what it is. This is the coach that has taken us there. So whether we like him or not, let's give them the respect. Let's give them the respect that they deserve. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to the panels. Thank you to everybody who's watching on Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok, guys. If you have not followed, please follow. The show is on every weekday, and then we do watch-alongs on the weekend. I'm not going to be here on Saturday, but I will do a watch-along for the rest of the knockout games. The show is usually on at 8 p.m. Monday to Thursday, but during AFCON, we're going to move to 7 o'clock so that we can also watch some matches while we speak about our things and have some nice discussions there. So please do me the favor of following on TikTok, following the Facebook page, and subscribing on YouTube. Also, we have a WhatsApp group. And that WhatsApp group is where things get heated. That's where we have the best conversations with no time restrictions, no 2-hour shows. It's a wire. We go back and forth in that group. All of the people that you hear that usually jump onto the show are on that group. They contribute. For only 20 Rand a month, you can also join that WhatsApp group and contribute to the show and keep it running, but also get access to that group. To do that, go on over to YouTube, subscribe, and then click on join. The cheapest one is 20 Rand. And yeah, we can speak all the time. You have access to me for most of the day, and also access to others. And we have some incredible conversations. You'll also hear them tomorrow, because Fridays are member shows. So the people who contribute on Fridays, they get to choose the topic and they get to run the show. It's a lot more free form and it's up to them. They have their conversations and you guys can get to watch it at 12:30 every Friday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys then tomorrow at 12:30.